Boom, boom. Yeah, you could be wondering what is the boom, boom all about. Well, it is my greeting. It's just as good as saying, how's it going? Yeah, it is ITJ and it's fun having you around. But today, let's just jump into it. So today I want us to talk about something that is so cool. And the question that I want to ask of you is, compared to other investments that you can invest in elsewhere, why choose real estate? All right. And I've got 5 reasons here today that I want to share with you in ways you can find why you should be choosing to invest in real estate. There's many ways that you can do it, but property for me is the go-to place for investing in property. And I want to speak on to number one. Number one is that over the long period of time, ever since when people discovered that they needed shelter, they have always needed somewhere to stay. It might have been in a cave, might have been in a cabin, it might have been in a cuckoo, it might have been in a townhouse, it might have been in a wherever it is. The bottom line is that people still need somewhere to stay. Now, if people need somewhere to stay, then we all know that property, or should I say real estate, is something that is tangible, something that you can touch. It's a real asset. You can see it. It's very different from investing in paper money like, EFTs, like shares and things like that, because you don't see it. It's there, but you can't touch it. Yes, they produce the paper for you, but what is it? And investing in property is still one of those go-to places because, look, you can physically go and touch it. You can give it a hug if you want to. You know what I mean? But it's not about that anymore. It's something that is fixed, so it cannot grow legs and disappear. And for me, that is one of the key reasons why I actually like investing in property. It is fixed. You can see it. You can touch it. The risk of it, something that is mobile, it carries a higher risk because as it goes somewhere else, chances are it might disappear, right? How many things have we had that has grown legs without us knowing where they went to? Plenty, isn't? But property is in a different class. It is fixed. It's a fixed address. Even 20 years from now, it will still be fixed at that location. If you are one of those people that are generally buying on location, I'm hoping that 15 to 30 years, the location is still in the right location. The thing is that it doesn't change. The neighborhood might change. That is my reason number one of actually choosing investing in property compared to anything else. The second one for me is that it's really is a long-term game. This might be seen with a lot of people as negative because, for a lot of people, we want to get rich faster, right? And property, it might not be one of those investment strategies that will bring you wealth faster, but it's also possible. What is fast anyway? Fast is relative, isn't it? Fast for me could be 5 years. For someone else, it could be 1 year. For some people, they want to get instant rich. Then we'll need to say, go and play lotto. When you get lucky, we'll see you, right, in the future. But this is the thing. A long-term game, you cannot expect it to be making big monies now. But you can buy properties where you can earn your process, or should I say you can make money from day number one. What do I mean by day number one? Instead of you actually just plowing in money, subsidizing onto your property, the property can actually pay you from day one. This is very much possible. All of my properties, this is what we do. So we have an income to live today, and we're still making money for the future as well because we like to play with debt, the bank's debt. And the bank then pays us to buy the property and our tenants pay off the debt for us. It's like having something that you own and someone else is paying it for you. That's a cool idea. I like that. And that's my second reason of wanting to play the long game. Merit to that is that it is a generational asset. it's a generational wealth creation asset. Because it's a long-term game, if I have tenants on my one bed, one bath, and it takes me 20 years to pay it off, right? Potentially, if I'm topping up, I might just be able to pay this off in maybe in 5 years or in 10 years. I have met and seen people who have done that. I like to play with debt because I don't like paying off debt. I like to accumulate more and more. But if this is one of the things that you enjoy doing to pay off your debt, which is so cool, nothing wrong with that. However, from a tax perspective, it might have its own implications. But for me, I like to have a substantial amount of debt, not 100%, but I like to make it just above 50%, all right? So that I can have some more tax. Because you don't pay tax on debt, man. You don't. Yeah. That's the reason why, for me, I like to play debt together. And you can leverage. What do I mean by leverage? It basically means that the more equity I have, I can borrow more money from the banks. The banks love me. They want to give me more money. So coming back to my point number 3 is that it is generational, and marrying it to the point that this is long term. What do I mean by that? If it is long term, it means that if I'm paying off my one bed over a period of 20 years, let's just assume 20 years and let's be all normal here, no 5 years, no 10 years. It basically means that by the time, if my wife gives birth to our child today, and we are buying a property, by the time that child is 20 years old, that's when we are going to be owning that property 100%, free and clear, no debt involved, right? So you can see 20 years is a long time. A lot of things can happen. Statistically, a lot of people don't survive even 6-7 years of marriage. So that child, for many people, well, he's not even with his father and mother anymore, which is another discussion for another day. But the point is that if you had married to something like that and peg it to something like that, to people who will endure their relationship, you see that at year number 2021, you really start reaping the rewards. But have a tenant in the meantime, pay off that debt, and you can enjoy it in 20 years' time. So that's my number 3. The fourth one that I want to speak to is that if managed well, and I want to stress this one out, the point of if managed well, because I am always buying rundown buildings, and it doesn't necessarily mean that these buildings, there is no owners. There is. The people are there, right? But the thing with buying rundown building is that there was a landlord who was not managing the property as well. And for that reason, guess what happened? People like me, we jump in and then we buy them and we start managing them well. And with a good management, managing just basically means that the property is clean. The property is running well. You've got tenants in there. The tenants are paying very well. And over and above that, your property is giving you the results that you are looking for. So if your property is then managed well within like the way that we're talking about, the risk on your property becomes less and less. People say, hey, TJ, the property is risky. No, it's the way you're managing it. If it's not being managed correctly, yes, it can become risky. So what's the skill here? Learn how to manage the properties. If you don't know how to. If you don't know how to, then you might want to call upon us. Frostpick, hello, please can you manage my property for me? We'll gladly do that. We are investors. We understand how to run these things. Or you might want to find a local guy in your area whom you can see that this guy knows how to manage properties. It's a try and error. It's a try and error. I failed in that area dismally. I'd had to fire all my property managers, right? And now I self-manage. Of course, this comes with its own benefit. I am making a little bit of dough out of it, but there is work to be done, right? The fifth one, point number 5, before I close out, and I also introduced to you that between now and the end of the year, I am giving out my book for free. Have you received your copy yet? This book here is available for free. Many nuggets in here. I wrote this book with you in mind. You can literally jump on my website right now at tauraijack.com and you can reach out for my book and it will be delivered to your doorstep. Even better, how about buying this? Not even buying. How about requesting for this book online as a present to someone, right? Bless someone this Christmas, right? With a book that's going to change their lives. The last one that I want to speak to on why investing in property is that it creates wealth. It does. How does it create wealth? Someone you might ask. Well, when the tenant is paying off your debt, right, you get some income, cash flow, right? You have all heard cash is king. I say, nah, cash flow is king, right? So if you're getting cash flow by doing nothing, isn't that creating wealth? Of course it is, right? On the other hand, what happens on a year-on-year, properties appreciate in value. So a property that was 200,000 today, next year could be 206. The other year could be 245. The other year could be, depending on what's happening in the economy, depending on what's happening in the country, in the neighborhood, how well you are managing your property. So there's many things in there, happening in there. But with you doing nothing, just managing your property the way you should be, guess what happens? Appreciation happens. And when appreciation happens, property is one of those assets that gives you money whilst you are sleeping. So the assets is growing up in value whilst you are doing what you do best. It's different from a car. A car is an asset, but it's an asset that depreciates. It loses value, whereas a property gains value, right? Loses value, gains value. So when I used to do property rental back in the days, that was my realization of why should I go into property? And I figured out, no man, if I have got cars, let's assume today, like I was in car rental long before Ubers and them were around, right? So if I was in car rental together with Uber and whatnot, my asset year on year is losing value, whereas on the same rand per rand, let's just say 1 million, you got 2 Ubers, I don't know, 4 Ubers maybe, let's say 4 Ubers, right? You're making a good buck here. I am also making a good buck here. We both invest. So you got 4 Ubers and I've got 2 properties, right? At the end of the day, if you do comparison rand on rand there, you see that from a balance sheet perspective, I am more strong. Power to me because I have more assets, liquid assets. The banks likes me, right? I have appreciated over the number of years. We take a term of 5 years. Your car could potentially be earning 50%, or should I say your pool of cars could be earning, the value of them could be 50% less in value. Whereas my properties would have gained. That's what is called appreciation. So you see, this is why I'm in this game. This is why and how you create generational wealth. It's not just for you. Of course, the next generation might be different from you and property might not be their game, but it can still be the base of their financial, right? So they could be doing other things. They could become doctors and whatever. But the foundation of real assets is still there in real estate. My name is TJ. It's been great hanging out with you. We'll chat with you later. God bless. Bye.